Live from the internet, this is the Crystal Chronicles, your #1 Final Fantasy record keeper official unofficial podcast. My name is Pierre. This is episode number 44, recorded on December 21st. 21st, 2-1, there we go. Tonight I have the pleasure to have with me Mark. Hey Mark.
Hey Pierre. Hey people on Twitch. Hey record keepers.
And unfortunately, I am sad to say that Ben cannot be with us tonight. He is, however, in Twitch chat if you are live with us on the Twitch. It's a whole story about how he's had his wisdom teeth removed on Monday and his mouth is full of hurt, so he is not speaky so much. But the door is open for him. He's going to keep us on check from Twitch, and I'm fairly sure that if we start saying a whole lot of VDCs, he will jump on Skype and slap us around. So Ben is definitely around, so we shouldn't be sidetracking too much tonight, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, we'll probably will.
Yeah, well, we're old mans, and that's kind of what old mans do.
It'll happen.
Yep. We'll just set the bar very low, and that way we'll make sure that nobody's disappointed. Super Cop. His mouth is full of hurt. H-U-R-T. Why do I always make that stupid mistake? I mean, it doesn't stick in my head. For those of you not live with us on Twitch, Super Cop 007 was making fun of when I said that Ben's mouth was full of hurt, and for some reason it appears that I'm saying it like E-A-R-T-H while it's H-U-R-T. So there we go, make fun of the French guy. That's very mature of you, Super Cop. Okay, this is gonna be quite a show. We've got, even without the game update that we received from the maintenance yesterday, there was a lot of stuff to cover, and then DNA threw a whole lot more on us. So before we get started with that though, what do you say, Mark, that we hit on some announcements first?
Announcements, there's been a few.
Oh my, has there been. So first of all, the multiplayer beta is officially no longer a beta, and while none of the big issues has been fixed, it would appear that the servers did not die, so they decided to officially launch a multiplayer/raid feature.
Yep.
And obviously it's still a little hard to navigate and change your abilities and all of that, but I am fairly sure they're working on it well, I was going to say like madmans, but there again, we're like 4 days away from Christmas, so I'm fairly sure eventually it'll get fixed.
Yeah, I was on the FFRK Global Multiplayer channel on Slack chat, and if you're interested, that would be FFRK_Global_MP, and there's a lot of folks that are enjoying their time on that, and they were working this afternoon and this evening putting together teams, and somebody said the raid leader, they were just doing random battles, but they said the raid leader pressed OK, ready to go, before I had time to equip, and I went into battle with a naked fang. So I thought maybe that was on purpose.
Yeah, that happened to me quite a few times. Seriously.
Yeah.
I
thought maybe that would just be distracting, and so you would beat Gilgamesh. But no.
Well, if you're gonna go with a naked character, you could do worse than Fang.
Yeah, like Gilgamesh.
Naked Gilgamesh versus Gilgamesh.
He's got a lot of limbs. That's all I'm saying. Who knows what's going on down there?
Moving on, there's been some balance changes. This time around, pretty much everything that DNA had announced happened. We do remember that some previous maintenance, they had announced some balance changes, but forgot to mention some stuff or got other errors through. But this time it's very minor. Basically, Steiner from Final Fantasy IX can now use 5-star Spellblade abilities. Yuna and Lulu can both equip light armor. That's from Final Fantasy X, by the way. And Yuna has had her magic and mind very slightly boosted. To give you an idea, at level 80 she goes for both stats from 169 to 172. So definitely nothing to call home about. But what do you know? It's still a change. They figured it would change things for her, I guess.
Yeah.
For those of you who might have missed some of the recent events, they decided to add a few things to the All of Rights, or Heights, or whatever, because I figure I'm probably spelling that word wrong as well. Basically, there's 4 new heroes: the Onion Knight, Leo, Larsa, and Noelle. And then there's a whole bunch of Memory Crystal 1, 2, and the Onion Knight Memory Crystal 3. So there again, that was headed. Obviously there was a game update maintenance announcement, which we're gonna skip real quick because what would you know, we'll talk about it in length very shortly.
We'll talk about that a lot.
Oh, a whole lot. Months and months after, well, not months, but definitely weeks after iOS 10 has been released, DNA has finally cleared it up for everyone to say, you know what, even though it always worked for everyone, we're officially saying that it works, so you can go ahead and update your phones if you haven't done that already. So they say, we confirm that Record Keeper runs correctly under iOS 10 and that it can be played normally without issue. And then nobody was surprised, but there we go. And also,
because we've been playing it without issue.
Yeah, well, there we go. The other change that maybe it's not really a balance change, it's not really a super game update change, but since they're going to introduce a Cid character from Final Fantasy IV, the everything related to Final Fantasy VII's Cid has been renamed to add the series into it so that there's no confusion. So there we go. That's oh wait, I was gonna forget, this is a Wednesday, and Wednesday means that the Fat Chocobo has updated his store, and on the menu this week you've got obviously your 1000 mithril, which I'm gonna grab right now, and
oh yeah,
other than that you've got a major power orb, major non-elemental orb, and major wind orb, but there's also been a refresh on the 3-star modes. So if you need vitality, wisdom, spirit, dexterity, or bravery modes, well, you've got 20 of each available for you. So there we go.
Yes, clarification on Twitch. Yes, there's 1000 mithril available in the Guy So Green shop. Or if you're playing, yeah, there's 1 mithril for 1000 greens.
Thank you, Oxford, for catching that up, by the way. Really appreciate it.
Although there might as well be 1000 mithril because holiday season is here.
Oh, we're going to be covered in mithril. But one thing at a time. So, there was a maintenance. And after each maintenance, it means that there's a major... what can I say? A major game update, and usually I'm like super busy, and it takes me forever to do those data mine posts and everything. So I did what any logical person would do, and I took a day off from work Tuesday to be able to data mine.
Do you hear that, devotion, people? He took a day off work to data mine live as the maintenance ended. That's devotion. That's love for you,
but listeners. It's so fun. I love doing it. I don't know. It's just, I feel like a child unwrapping his Christmas presents every time I do this. Obviously, we're gonna go through everything quickly because it's already been like almost 48 hours. It's probably old news for all of you, but we're still gonna cover all of this really quickly. First of all, there's gonna be so many bonuses between Christmas and New Year, but I mean like a ridiculous amount of bonuses. First of all, on December 24th, we're gonna get a Christmas bonus. It's gonna be 20 major, not major, but Giants Carotite, or what's it called? and 20 major. What's the armor one? The name is
Adamantine, something like that.
Yeah, something. And for some reason, not 20, not 24, not 25, but 28 mithril.
28 mithril.
Yep. And there's going to be Loki's bandana. That was the winning item. Yep. Was that what we wanted? No, it was. That's the fire one. That's not
there was some conversation about we're going to get the wind item, and there's not a lot of fire plus attack items. Whatever. I mean,
yeah,
it's a bandana. We'll take it. Yay, thank you. Thank you, DNA, for the bandana. Thank you, more for the mithril. Keep it coming.
All right, and 2 days later, there's going to be a new event starting called Countdown to 2017. We're going to have different Logan. Wolverine, Logan. Logan.
That's coming out.
Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, that's gonna be
the
such
Logan
an awesome
movie. That looks good.
But you know the song they put in with Johnny Cash, it makes the trailer so much more awesome.
Well, every Nine Inch Nails song makes every trailer more awesome.
Wait, that's not Nine Inch Nail. It's Johnny Cash.
Well, yeah, no, it's Johnny Cash singing a Nine Inch Nails song.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He covered that song. That's Trent Reznor. Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
I know my Nine Inch Nails.
I had no idea.
My favorite band.
I had no idea. But hey, Johnny Cash.
It's a great trailer.
Oh, it's awesome. Final Fantasy Record Keeper.
Not right now. Keep listening to the podcast.
So for starting December 26th, there's going to be login bonuses for 6 days. Looking at this, we're going to have major growth eggs. We're going to have memory crystals, and probably at the end of this, we're going to have Cloud's Googles, which is a 5-star item that not too sure what it does, but I'm fairly sure it's going to be awesome. Then somewhere around the new year, so that's January 1st, we're going to have 25 free mithril, and then if that wasn't enough, we're going to have a whole bunch of items: the Chocobo summon spell, the Chocobo suit, and
Chocobo suit.
Yep, it's a Final Fantasy V armor item. Curious to see the stats on that, but that should be interesting, that's for sure. So definitely,
we're getting another. This is from Twitch, Axel. Thank you. We're getting another Clouds goggles, so we'll have opportunity to have, I think, 4 of them. 'Cause I missed the first one, and I already have 2. So that's 4. Everybody gets goggles. Well, you need them for all the soldiers that you have in your party now. So
goggle for all the people.
You can have a full party of soldiers, or ex-soldiers, or wannabe soldiers, all with goggles. So, hooray!
Yay! All right. So basically, do yourself a favor. If you're super busy during the holidays, make sure you log in every single day to get your bonuses. Because once they're gone, and there's just so many free mithril, it's not worth skipping them.
Some estimates, although there's, you have to do all the multiplayer, you have to do all the event dungeons, you have to do all the special dungeons, all of that. You have to log in every day, but kind of tallies have been going from December 20th to January 3rd. So in that time frame, the tallies have been from like 150 to 165 mithril.
Wow.
So I mean, we're talking about 150 mithril in that span.
14 days span.
And a lot of events. I mean, we're talking about a crazy amount of events during this time. So it's going to be a busy time. It would be busy if we just had an Orb Fest, but to have an Orb Fest plus to have this, this boss battle, whatever they're calling that, I forget what they're calling the boss battle thing. That goes with the Overstrike Fest, Overburst. What's that called? First of all, the Overstrike Overload. There we go. The Overstrike Overload is accompanied by the. Sorry, I'm scrolling up. The boss. You fight the 5 bosses. I just forget what they called it.
All right.
It's on the stuff that you've data mined.
This time or the
yeah, this time. Unfortunately, yes, it's the Ward of the Four Crystals. That's going to start. That's going to start with the Overstrike Overload. So every time there's a new banner, there's going to be a new boss that you fight.
But you know what?
Just like Big Battle on the Bridge. So yeah, you have that under event 538. Yep.
But that's
yeah,
that's a bit insane. I mean, there's going to be like the Orb Fest starting tomorrow night.
Yeah, so you're going to have Orb Fest, Ward of the Four Crystals, which is the Overstrike Overload battles. You're going to have Torment Dungeons. You're going to have a Final Fantasy V event, which is running till like January 10th, right? You're going to have the Final Fantasy, what's the next one? Is it 14 or is there one before 14? But the Torment Dungeons are going to probably hit the Final Fantasy V Torment Dungeons. You're going to, or maybe the Final Fantasy IX event first.
Actually, the Torment Dungeons are definitely not coming like in the next weeks.
Oh, I thought we were going to get that with the 5 event.
Well, I don't think so, but there again, I was trying to data mine the tutorial
we don't have
part, you know, the part where Dr. Mog and Taro have their little conversation, and all of that on the server was still in Japanese. So it's an indication, because last time, you know, I was able to data mine the multiplayer tutorial part, and that was weeks before it was officially launched. So then again, we'll see, but it doesn't appear like it's going to be in the next few weeks. I think it's going to be after New Year, but there again, we'll see.
And we'll talk about it a little bit tonight just in case. But yeah, Final Fantasy XIV should be starting at the end of the year on the 31st. 5 and 14, you know, they're giving us more time to complete it. So, I mean, I think they realize there's a lot going on, because if you look to Heir of the Dawn, which is the Final Fantasy V event, which we'll actually probably talk about next week, because we don't have the ultimates to that yet, that is available through the 10th. So the 10th of January. The multiplayer dungeon for Final Fantasy X or Final Fantasy V, Gilgamesh, is available through the 10th. So I would assume Final Fantasy XIV will be available at least until the 10th.
Well, at the very least.
And that these Ward of the Crystals events, although I think we know that, those will be available until probably that same time frame. Yeah, because the last one launches on the 3rd, so, you know, it should be time after that. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of things going on at once, but you should have a lot of time to do it. I think that's the point. So.
Yep. All right, so moving on really quickly, in all the stuff that was added, there were new characters from Final Fantasy I, like the monk Mitoya, the wizard that lost her crystal eye. There's Final Fantasy IV Sid. There's what's that character, pinky one? Not too sure what she's from. Let me check real quick. Actually,
is there's a dress record for Zidane. There's a Zidane trance mode.
Oh,
is that it?
Yeah, I think that could be it. It's the it's from Final Fantasy IX. So you're right.
Yeah, so that's trance mode Zidane.
Okay.
Or Zidane.
There's the dress record for Titus.
Yep.
There's going to be Seymour from Final Fantasy IX.
That I'm not sure. What is the Titus dress record?
I don't know.
I don't remember Titus wearing different clothes in Final Fantasy.
Let me scroll down in the event. It's in there real quick.
That's him and his dream for Spira, him and his dad.
Yeah, it's just scrolling down. Well, it just said get a Titus Wardrobe record, but I don't know what it's for. It looks like a very, very odd dress. Well, not dress, but yeah, I have no idea.
Well, yeah, it's like a darker suit.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with this. Maybe people on Twitch can.
Yeah, anybody on Twitch know what's going on with the other costume for Titus?
But then there's going to be Seymour, There's going to be 2 new Final Fantasy Tactic characters, including everybody's favorite, Orlando.
We got confirmation. It is from Dissidia. That's a costume from Dissidia.
Let me look that up.
Thank you. Purple on that.
Yeah.
And Axel Pritt on that. So thank you guys.
Huh. Yeah, it's just a darker kind of looking.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, the sprite doesn't. It's just different colors.
Yeah, it doesn't give it any justice. But anyway, so there's going to be a whole bunch of new memory crystal and abilities, record materials, all of that. Then moving on, the next events, they're going to be, one sec. Obviously, we talk about Ward of the 4 Crystals, which is starting on the 26th.
Yeah, which is a boss event.
It's a boss event, kind of like the last battle to the Big Bridge.
Yeah, down to the Big Bridge.
Yeah, down on the Big Bridge. So there you're going to be able to fight that Final Fantasy VI Esper, Rubicant, and yeah, a whole bunch of people. Then there's going to be a Final Fantasy IX, the Green Aunt event. So basically an event where you could get a whole lot of Geisel Greens.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Later on, I think I lost the date. I had it. It's January 12 or 13, I believe. There's going to be a new Nightmare dungeon called Valigarmanda Record, a 6-star summon abilities. So there we go. We data mined the 12th Nightmare dungeon, but it has not been translated yet, so we'll just skip over that. We data mine us, of course, not of course, but as well the Secret of Mana, Seiken Desetsu 2 collaboration. It has not been translated. This means that until it happens, we have no confirmation it will happen.
It could have just got thrown into the files and then.
Well, they just kind of copy over everything from China. But seriously, DNA, if I'm not telling myself stories and you do listen to us, I beg you, I implore you, please make this event happen.
Translate it. Let's make it happen.
Please. I mean, it's already all in there. You've got nothing to lose. Please, I beg you. Then later on we'll have the new Torment Dungeons, but obviously I'm fairly sure that's going to be in January. The first one is going to be Dead from the Deep. It's going to be a Final Fantasy V team battle. The other one after that will be the Ravenous Deep, a Final Fantasy X. Yep, 10 battle, and then that's what we have so far. Now, as far as the normal events, obviously there's the Final Fantasy V Ear of the Dawn that we have ongoing right now, so I'll skip over that real quick. Then after that, we'll have Lady of the Vortex, a Final Fantasy XIV event that's going to introduce, one sec, Minfilia and Alfinod.
Yep.
So
perfect.
Not a big
sounds good to me.
Final Fantasy XIV person, but a lot of people are super excited. Then that's good
because
go ahead.
It's a great relic draw banner. So
I've heard about that. I've heard that it's gonna hit. A lot of people have been saving like crazy.
Yep.
Then moving on, we've got Flash of Defiance, Final Fantasy XIII. Where the Heart Lies, Final Fantasy IX. No new characters on those. And
Seymour's not in the 9 one.
Seymour's a Final Fantasy X character.
Oh yeah, okay, I'm sorry.
However, looking at the pictures, I believe we're gonna have Zidane's the accessory that was being offered for Christmas. I think it's gonna be in that event that they're gonna give it to us.
That's what they were saying on the Japanese players were saying that we were gonna get that earring, so that's why they wanted Locke's bandana.
Oh, there we go. It's all planned.
And we might get the other 2 in events in the future too. So
yeah, probably. Then it's going to be Final Fantasy X, A Dream for Spira, which is going to introduce finally a new character called Seymour, another evil bad guy that we'll get to control.
Black Magic 5, White Magic 4, Darkness 5 character, you mean?
Yep. Then Final Fantasy Tactic event, A Sword for Peace, introducing Orlando and Gafgarian. Orlando Bloom. And then, while it's not translated yet, we can be fairly certain it's going to happen. It's going to be a Final Fantasy IV event introducing Sid, the airship guy. And then there should be a Final Fantasy I event introducing the monk and Matoya.
Yeah.
And that's what we have so far. So that's all of the events that we have. It's going to cover about a 3-month period. So, then if we go over real quick, there's a whole bunch of relic draws. We're going to talk about one of it later on. It's the Overstrike Overload, but other than that, I'll post all the links to everything I determined on the site, so you guys can take a look at it. Maybe a quick thing. They did change the description of all the summon abilities and a few of the summon related, actually Rydia's Mournful Cry, Soul Break, to make a distinction. So just to give you a random example, if I look at Ifrit, it went from deal 2 magic fire attack to all enemies to deal 2 summon magic fire attacks to all enemies. So, and even if you look at Kirin, that went from grant regen to all allies to grant regen to all allies, and in parentheses, summon magic. So they really tried to make a distinction about how
between white magic, black magic, summon magic.
Yep. So it's kind of, it makes sense, because I always thought, well, I thought for a good while that Alexander, his damage output was based on mind, and someone made me realize that it's actually based on magic. So
it is based on magic
because it's a summon magic holy attack. So it makes sense once you know about it. So I think that that pretty much covers all. A lot of stuff. Okay, let's see. Sorry, just got distracted with Twitch. Moving on, we've got In the Footsteps of Greatness, and it's not talking about us, it's talking about the Final Fantasy VII-CC. That's for Crystal Chronicles.
That is for Crisis Core.
All right.
I'm sorry, I was distracted by Ben randomly banning people on Twitter.
Again, for people not live with us, I think Ben probably right-clicked the wrong thing, and Ben, probably one of the nicest person that we have in the FFRK Slack community, that would be Trinity. So
yes, sorry, Trinity.
Yeah, Trin, if you're here, please join back. Ben has unbanned you and has requested for your apology. Well, requested for that you forgive him. I am bad with English tonight. Oh, he says his hand slipped, so there we go.
Always something.
So
let's talk about In the Footsteps of Greatness.
Yeah, what's great about it, there's a new character. That's always great. His name is Angeal.
Let's not get exaggerating.
No, he's not superb.
Yes, Angeal Hewley, the first dude with the Buster Sword, as I like to have learned that that's who he is recently.
Wait, what?
So if you don't know, Cloud gets his Buster Sword from Zack, who apparently got his Buster Sword from Angeal. So it's just a Buster Sword passing along kind of party. And interestingly enough, each person who seems to use the Buster Sword gets worse and worse with it as they progress. So Angeal's Buster Sword Soul Break is by far the best of the three. All three of them have a Buster Sword Soul Break, but they are all the same Buster Sword. And different stats, interestingly enough. So obviously Angeal can use his Buster Sword much better than Cloud and Zack can, at least in Final Fantasy Regular Gear. But If you want to know what Angeal does, he is a Spellblade 3-star, Combat 5-star, Knight 5-star. So that's the big deviation. It is a 5-star Knight. If you Record Sphere him, he gets bonus damage to swords for 3% and bonus damage to Knight abilities for a total of 9%. So that's Angeal. He is kind of like Zach and kind of like Cloud, except he's a Knight.
Ta-da.
5-star. So there you go.
All right. There's also new abilities.
You can play with a full soldier team now. So
really, there's Cloud, Zach, Vincent, Angeal.
Yep.
Who am I missing?
Sephiroth.
Oh, jeez.
You know, that one guy.
Facepalm. All right.
Big katana. Yeah, so there you go.
We talked about it real quick.
Someday we'll have all the Turks.
No, please.
A day will come.
I want
at least we should get crude.
Yeah, I want my Gal, Dress Rickard, and Ghost character before that.
Yeah, your Ghost Train. Ghost Train Spirit. Phantom Train Spirit.
Yep. I will not rest until it happens. I need a new fight. Leo has been, in my party, so... Oh, you're being corrected, Mark. Purple Nap says Vincent was not a soldier. He was a Turk.
He was a Turk, yes.
So you do not get to have a full Turk party. Full soldier.
Cloud wasn't soldier either, so... We're close. We're close. We can have a full Shinra team, okay?
Yeah, we've got a whole party of people with serious issues with their mental health. So there we go. That we talked about it real quick on the last podcast, but that event also add new abilities. That would be Death Throws, and Reaping Sight. Have you had a chance to play with that physical darkness combo?
Nope, not at all. But it's pretty much the same as the magical darkness combo, just physical.
There we go.
I had in my head that the character we were getting wasn't Angeal, it was Genesis, and I figured Genesis would have darkness 5, and so I thought we would get to play with that, but we didn't. So you can use it on Sephiroth if you really want to use Sephiroth, I guess. I do have... Nephilim Nightmare. I guess I do have one of his soul breaks, which is End Fire. So I could use it, I guess. The End Fire doesn't help. But yeah, I have not had a chance really to mess around with it, but I know from what it is, it's very similar to the Darkness magical combo and works kind of the same. So if you have some Darkness 5 physical characters like Sephiroth, like Jet, like other guys, Garland maybe. I don't who else has physical darkness 5.
I'm gonna tell you in half a second because Final Fantasy.
I mean half a second.
Okay, so darkness 5. You've got Garland, Leon, Cecil. Wow, Cecil. We should have found that one.
Leon,
Golbez,
Dark Knight Cecil,
Kefka, Vincent, Sephiroth, Cypher, Adia, Kuja, Jack, Gabrant, Sid Reigns, and Paro.
Yeah. Gabrant. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna use it on Edia. I'm gonna put it on Edia. Yeah, I will. I might use it on Dark Knight Cecil for our next Final Fantasy IV event, because I do use Dark Knight Cecil for his Boostaga, excuse me, and so I may power it up here after Orbfest and try it out on Dark Knight Cecil, because right now I use Life Siphon full charge on Dark Knight Cecil, so this darkness combo might do better DPS than that. But I've not done the math on it because no one really ever talks about it. So
there we go.
No one seemed to be really excited from the people who've been playing in Japan about it, so I didn't give it too much mind. So let's go to the Ultimate Battles. I wish I could say the Ultimate Battles were more exciting than Angeal and the 2 abilities that we got, but really they're not very exciting at all. You probably were able to beat them fairly simply. The Ultimate Battle is Guard Spider, And Guard Spider would be easy if not for his spider web attack, which he uses on his third turn and regularly after that. It is an AoE attack that causes stop, and stop is unfortunately a status we do not have resistant accessories for. If we did, this would have been a very easy fight. Thankfully, he's weak to lightning, and his attacks are not real powerful. It's just a matter of the RNGesus stopping you in inopportune times and annoying times. So, his most powerful attacks are magic-based and lightning, so you can equip lightning-resistant accessories. You can up your resistance. You can mitigate for magic. And hopefully you don't get stopped really well. You can try bringing a lightning BSB, a BSB that does lightning damage, or imperil lightning, or not imperil lightning, empower lightning, and try to go to town and see what you can do so you don't get him well into his stopping craziness. And we only have one power that reduces mind, and I believe that is Irving's Hyper Break, or Tetra Break, right? So if you don't have that, you don't really have a way to reduce his mind, therefore making stop not an issue. Just make sure, you keep your mitigation up and don't get bogged down by stops. Might have to stop and reload if you do. That brings us to the Ultimate Plus, G Eraser. I mean, Attack of the Clone, really. That was funny, DNA.
Are you, sorry.
Anyway.
Are you talking about Hyper Sniper?
Yeah, the Hyper Break.
Oh.
That reduces mind.
Okay, yeah, Hyper Sniper.
Yeah, it's a Hyper Break.
Yeah, but
it breaks 5 elements.
Yep, it does. It's called Hyper Sniper.
Five things, yes. So, G Eraser is a standard physical attacker with a powerful AoE attack called Scorcher. For the conditions, you have to defeat him before he uses it 10 times, which should not be too much of an issue. Because he is purely physical, you can bring your best physical mitigation and be pretty good. If you are using a Sid team, try to stack as much physical mitigation as possible, because you most likely will not be bringing Wall. So Full Break, Power Breakdown, and Protectka if you are in love enough with Yuffie that you have spent record spheres on her and unlocked Power Mug, what is it? The 6-star Mug ability, the attack and defense Mug, which I use regularly, but the name of it's forgetting me. You can stack additional mitigation if you have her record sphered up. G Eraser should be easy for your best team, and I think very doable for your Sid team if you have decent relics. For my Sid team, just to give you an idea of what I went in with, I used Cloud with his BSB, Zach with Power Chain Full Charge, no Soul Break, Barrett with Full Break, Power Breakdown, no Soul Break, Vincent with Memento Mori Dark Zone. I do have a Soul Break, but I don't know. Yeah, Mug Bloodlust. Thank you, Axel Crit. Vincent with Memento Mori Dark Zone, and I do have his first Super Soul Break. I do not think I used it in this fight. And I do have Aerith with Curaga and Protectka, and I brought her Super Soul Break Medica. Again, I did not have to use it. So, pretty simple. I thought maybe I didn't see anybody struggling with it, but depending on what you have, you don't have anything. Final Fantasy VII's pretty good. You know, you have enough characters, and Vincent can use the Dark Zone thing. Sid can use the Dragoon combo. Zach can use Power Chain Full Charge. You know, so you have some decent options as well. So that brings us to the Ultimate Plus Bahamut Fury, his dragonness. Now, Crisis Core has not been bringing us the most complicated of battles. Bahamut Fury is just a big scary dragon. He does physical and magical attacks. His 2 most powerful attacks are Flare, which is Flare, and to meet the metal conditions, we all are used to Flare by now. It's a big scary attack. Non-elemental magic damage, which to meet the metal conditions, you cannot have him do it 3 times. I don't know I was not able to find the AI on that when he uses it, but it doesn't seem like he uses it very much. He does use his other scary attack, Exaflare, much more liberally. Exaflare is an AoE attack that does damage proportional to your HP. I think it does 50% of your 50% of your HP as damage. So, how do we defeat that? Well, we bring resistant accessories to KO or instant KO. And so that's going to help there. Other than that, stack your mitigation and go to town. There's really not a good way to cheat that except to hit him hard and keep at him. And if you are having trouble with these battles, get excited for Torment Dungeons, because we'll talk about that here in a minute. They're much more terrible. So banners for this event, which are also somewhat underwhelming.
All right. First off, we have Cloud's OSB Great Return with Ragnarok. We've covered that one before, so we won't spend too much time on it. You should know about it by now, since it was the first OSB to be introduced.
It's an OSB.
Then you've got Zach's Burst Soul Break Meteor Shots.
Meteor Shots.
That deals 8 ranged physical wind and hurt attack to random targets, lowered the resistance to wind and grant burst mode. The burst abilities are Eye of the Tornado and Blast Rush, so it's wind and non-elemental attacks, and they both reduce delay before hitting.
Yeah, it's a nice Imperil Wind BSB. So,
yep. Then you've got what's her face? Yuffie's Magic Shuriken. It's a Burst Soul Break, Guardian of Wutai. Deal 5 ranged physical water and non-elemental attack to all targets. Infuse the user with the power of water and grant burst mode. It gives the burst abilities Riptide, that deals 4 ranged physical water attack to one target and reduce delay before hitting. And Eroding Wave, that deals 2 ranged physical water and non-elemental attack to one target. Lower its attack and defense a small amount, and raise the user attack and defense a small amount.
Yeah, that's nice. I like although they're ninja abilities, which is kind of silly, but yeah, I mean, because one of them's basically celerity and one of them's thief, but yeah, whatever, they're ninja. So pay attention to that if you got that. You know, if you're equipping bonus, thief damage or bonus whatever damage, and you realize, oh, those are ninja abilities.
Then you've got a Super Soul Break for Angeal. It's Wing of Pride, deals 6 physical, holy, and non-elemental attack to one target. Temporarily raise the defense of all allies a large amount and grant them major regen.
Yeah.
And I think we've seen everything else, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, nothing super.
Oh no, Javelin's new.
Oh, is it?
Because Javelin is shout. So Sid gets shout.
He gets to shout.
Why not? Who cares? Why not?
So
every realm has a shout now.
Yeah. Let me do a 100 gem pull on that.
Oh hey.
Pulls for the people. 1 sec. Let me bring it.
Don't forget about Sid's goggles in case you don't have enough of Cloud's goggles. Sid gets goggles too. Everybody gets goggles in Final Fantasy VII.
Here,
doesn't Yuffie have goggles?
Everybody has big, goggles. So everybody can see my failures. And there we go. So 100 gems. Okay, Moogie's flying.
Not a lot of people pulled on this.
Well, it's 100 gems. So, and it's a 3-star crap.
Unicorn shield.
So, that's a not super impressive banner unless you really wanted to have an OSB.
Yeah, I mean, we're not seeing terrible banners anymore, right? I mean, most of the banners from this point on are pretty decent, but it's hard to pull on something like this with the OSB Fest on the way, and of course, if you know what's on the 14 banner, even the realm dungeon lucky draws and things like that. So,
all right,
yeah, and the second banner,
which I'm not even gonna waste 100 gems on. It's you've got
you don't want You don't want Shinra Bombshell?
Nope, it's Reno's Burst Soul Break, deals 6 range physical, lightning, and non-elemental attack to all targets. Infuse a user with the power of lightning, blah blah blah.
Yeah, but you get to call Rude and Elena.
Yeah, but Turks.
Part of my Turk dream is coming true.
Well, see, there you go. And yeah, quite frankly, that banner is like nothing crazy to write home about. I don't know if you want to cover white materia.
We've talked about white materia plenty of times. It's rated pretty low among the burst soul breaks, especially because we're going to have all the other burst medicas here on the OSB banner and of course on 14, arguably the best burst medica.
Oh wait, you can get Barrett's Atomic Scissors, a weapon that only he and Taro can equip. How exciting!
Yes.
So there we go. Yeah, don't pull on that banner.
Yes.
Friends are like friends. Don't let them pull on these banners.
But if you don't like those banners, we have a Lucky Relic Draw banner,
which I'm gonna pull on.
Soul Break banner,
which I am gonna pull on. I saved my mithril to do it
the buffs
during the show today.
There is a lot of relics on this. Some of them are better than others. Unfortunately, This is not Super Soul Break or higher. This includes a lot of regular relics, including decent regular relics and also less decent, and a lot of monk gloves, like every monk weapon we've had to this point.
All right, let's pull on this.
So Pierre is getting ready to pull.
Drum roll, and here we go. Ah, my inventory's full. Come on. Let me just waste that stupid...
No.
For real. Crap.
Joseph hype. Yes, Joseph.
I actually already have Joseph's glove. It was one of the first...
one that kills him?
Yeah, that one.
Spoilers.
So, okay, there we go. Now I'm pulling for real. It's happening. And I'm clicking.
We are draw. It's been a while since we've done live draws on the show.
Yep.
We know you love them.
Okay, Moogie's flying up, and
feel free to watch it on YouTube.
I'm gonna have 2 5-stars. Holy crap! And a whole bunch of 3-stars. So let's skip all the trash real quickly.
Okay, going through the 3-stars. 2 5-star relics.
Yeah. We don't care. We don't care. Okay, first 5-star. Boom, boom, boom. I think it's Kefka's Cloak. Boom.
Does it look like Kefka's Cloak?
It's
okay. Does it look like
so I got total crap. I got Amaranth, Dragon's Claw. It's a unique freaking soul break, and I got Kefka's Cloak, which is another unique soul break. So it's a lot of junk.
Woohoo! Do you have Kefka's Cloak?
Yeah.
I mean, do you have it already, though?
No, I don't, but I don't use either of those characters.
Well, you know, it's not bad in Final Fantasy VI Sid missions to give you haste, at least. I don't know what Amaranth's...
I don't know why I keep pulling on these things. I get tricked every single time. You know what? We're not going to cover the Final Fantasy V event, so just because I'm super sad, I'm going to do 100 gem on the Final Fantasy V banner now. Wait, I can't because my inventory's full. Let me get rid of all the crap.
Well, while you're drowning your sorrows, let's talk about some banners that are kind of good. And just somewhat good. And those banners are going to be coming out very, very soon, the 26th. And then the second banner will be coming out the 28th. And those are the Overstrike Overload banners. And I had them up here, and now I don't. So let me get to them. So we're going to have 2 of them before we get back together. Or one of them, the second one's going to hit as we're recording. And so I thought we should go over them and maybe talk about them. And Pierre got a 3-star from Greg's banner. Here we go. So let's just quickly go over the Overstrike Overload banners. Remember, there's 5 of them. They are 50 Mithril pulls, but they do include an Overstrike Soul Break, 3 Burst Soul Breaks, and several Super Soul Breaks / regular Soul Breaks as well, but each banner at least has one Overstrike, one has two, and then several burst soul breaks, excuse me. Personally, I believe the first banner is the strongest of the bunch because it has Terra's Overstrike Soul Break, which is fire damage, and Mage Overstrike Soul Breaks are known to do a lot of damage, especially when paired with their N element abilities, and you can get a chance to get Terra's N Fire Crown on that same banner. So the Blood Sword does fire damage, and it can break the level cap, and her Tiara gives her N Fire, and those two combined do crazy things, and I think you can use Wrath on Terra as well to just shoot up her soul break gauge and then get her to work. Rifia's, that's Rifia, right? Yeah, Rifia's Gloves is also a fairly good burst soul break that does fire non-elemental and fire, empower fire. And then you get to Mistletoe, which is Vanille's very, very good burst soul break and burst medica, probably the second best of the burst medicas. And you get Kane's burst soul break, which is empowered lightning and also very good, especially with that new lightning dive. Plus, you get Platinum Sword with Shout. Plus, you have an opportunity to get Yo Shalanda's Wall. So that is just a very good selection of relics and Steiner's Armor and Minwu's instant healing, original healing. So just very good relics, and I think perhaps the best of the bunch. The Phase 2 is Titus's Overstrike Soul Break. It is Lunith's Burst with Empower Wind, Quistis's Dress with Empower Poison, and the Glorious Arm Guard, which is Waka's Crazy Burst, and Artemis Bow and Sentinel Grimoire on that, so that's not too bad. Then you have on Banner 3 Van's Overstrike, and what's her name? Maria from Final Fantasy II. Her bow. Lena, something like that. Anyway, that chick from Final Fantasy II, it's her bow, and it is an Empower Earth. You have Excalibur, which is an Imperil Holy on Agrias. You have Hamelin, which is Ico's Burst Soul Break Medica, which is arguably the third best, I would say. And you have Ark's cool Super Soul Break Healing, a couple other healing things on that as well. That brings us to Phase 4, which is Apocalypse and Tyro's Apocrypha, which are their bursts. I'm not real excited about Tyro's. Oh, no, it is Tyro's burst, not over. I was thinking it was Tyro's Overstrike. This is a new burst soul break for... No, that's not right. No, that's a mistake on the banner translation. It is a Overstrike Soul Break for Tyro. That's what I thought. But they have it called here a Burst Soul Break. That is incorrect. Maybe we'll get some apology, Mithro. Then Edge's Burst and Hope's Burst. Again, that's probably my least favorite of them. And then you get Eagleton. You get Hope's Overstrike Soul Break, which again is massive holy damage. And non-elemental, again, which is a Mage Overstrike, which are considered very good. Warrior of Lights, Shield, Onion Knight's Gauntlets, and Noel's Flame. So you can see just a variety. I don't think any of them are like, oh, you got to pull on this. I mean, it really depends on what you have and what you're looking for. Like I said, personally, I think the first one is by far the kind of standout. Everything on that's pretty good. But yeah, I mean, if you're looking for specific items that you missed, maybe you missed Onion Knight, so you're going to want to pull on that. Maybe you missed Quistis's Dress, you might want to pull on that. If there's things if you're still looking for Shout, if you're still looking for Wall, you have opportunities to pull on that. But that's the rundown of them. I think I'll be pulling on one, and I think that's probably it. I'll probably do a 50 pull on the first one and go from there.
There we go. I'm going to see what Mithril I have left at that point. Obviously, I'm not pulling on anything else at this point because it's definitely not worth it. But there you have it, folks. That's these are the OSB banners that are going to go around until the next time that you talk to us, or that we talk to you, actually, I should be saying. Moving on. Multiplayer is now a thing, officially. How was your experience?
I really haven't had time to multiplayer since the since the Final Fantasy V event. So,
neither have I, actually. I've kind of been busy. But I heard it's super great.
Keeping up, and yeah, I think they're good fights, and they're not super hard, but they're challenging. Of course, you fight Gilgamesh and Enkidu, and I mean, it's a battle that we fought several times. Of course, you can retaliate, draw fire against Gilgamesh. You can bring KO resistant accessories. I think Enkidu's weak to wind, right? So, kind of the same thing. So there have been people doing Imperial wind teams. There have been people doing, a lot of wind damage. There have been people doing, of course, Gilgamesh is BSB, is kind of good against this. So get on Slack, build the team, and go at it. Or just go randomly and see what you can do. You can solo both of these. I mean, even though the one is difficulty 200, they're both soloable if you have a decent team. But
I figure it's probably not.
It's funner to play
the very same fight, right?
Friends. No, the fight's easier when you do it on solo, right?
Okay.
But they're still difficult.
Well, yeah, I figured. But talking about difficulty, what about those Torment Dungeons?
Yeah, so we officially know that there are Torment Dungeons on the way when they get here. Just so you are prepared, if you haven't been paying attention to anything, or you are not familiar with what is coming, I will do a little bit of prep and give you a little bit of stats upon these Torment Dungeons. So Torment Dungeons are a new difficulty of battles, difficulty 200 and 250 each Torment Dungeon. We will start with a Final Fantasy V, and that will move into a Final Fantasy X Torment Dungeon. The difficulty 200 battles also have a SID mission attached to them. So each Torment Dungeon will have a SID mission hooked to the first difficulty. The bosses are exceptionally challenging. For our Final Fantasy V battle, we will face the Three Little Pigs, Triton, Nereid, and Phobos. Each of them has 195,000 HP for difficulty 200, or 279,000 HP for difficulty 250. That is a lot. For our Final Fantasy X Torment Dungeon, we are facing Geosgeno, and he has 455,000 HP, or 651,000 HP on the 250 level difficulty. His defense is 5,107 for the 200, or 6,134.
That's completely
for
nuts.
The 250. To give you a comparison, Moat Afreet. Any guesses how many HP Moat Afreet had, Pierre? Compared to the 651, or even the easier 455 that Geosgeno is going to have.
Well, I have it written in front of me, so it would be hard to fake a guess.
So so Moat Afreet had a meager 336,000 HP and a benign 3,818 defense. So you are talking about double the HP and double the defense from a fairly challenging battle, Moat Afreet.
Wow.
So good luck. What makes this, however, more difficult than your regular go in and beat the boss, these bosses have mobs before you fight them. The 200 difficulty battle has 4 waves of mobs, while the 250 difficulty battle has 6 waves of mobs. To make matters worse, the mobs, the monsters you fight before, are not pushovers. They are difficult. They hit hard. They do status effects. They are not easily manipulated. Some of them have over 10,000 HP each.
Are they in all the same battle?
Yes,
or do you lose your buff? Okay.
One battle, several different waves.
Thanks God. At least you don't like
5 or 7 waves respectively.
Wow.
Round. So depending on what you call that. So so the good news is, right, you can use the mobs to build up your soul breaks before you get to the boss. The bad news is if you die while fighting the mobs, you will be dead. So it really doesn't help, does it, if you get there? You know, so I was talking, you know, Raska was helping me out here, kind of going over, because I didn't quite know how the mobs worked. I knew they were in there, but I didn't quite know how they worked. You know, people were talking about, you know, having to use Onion Knight's Vessel of Fate, having to use Wall, like, to start off during the mobs. The mobs hit that hard that you had to use those kind of soul breaks just to get to the boss. So,
wow. Yeah. I'm having anxiety attacks, and I haven't even considered.
And one of them you have to do a Sid mission. So.
Oh yeah, well sure, because you know.
Don't have to. You can do a Sid mission.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Whew.
So yeah, have fun doing a Sid mission that you need, you know, walls to take out the mob, and you don't even have that. So I'm excited. Is everybody else excited? I'm excited.
I'm super excited at the idea of other people doing it.
I like challenges.
Yeah, well, that's too much for me, for my own taste. But anyway, yeah. Moving on. Let's see. Draw of the week. I promised I would do it. So a special shout to Twitter follower Wee Lee for her draw of the week. Let me find it real quick. It's somewhere in there. Come on.
I have it here.
Oh, you're awesome. Go ahead.
Yeah, she pulled on Gilgamesh and got Gilgamesh's Overstrike and Dorgan's Blade. That would be Bats' father. So a pretty good pull for his Super Soul Break, and then Greg's Burst. And I believe this is on the buff lucky draw. She pulled Snow's Super Soul Break, Sentinel Grimoire, and Selfie's Burst Soul Break, Strange Vision. So pretty good draws there.
Pretty decent. Do we have anything else in terms of draw of the week?
We shared a few on Slack from Reddit, so you can check those out. One of them had 8 5-star relics. That was from the buff lucky draw, 1 BSB and 4 super soul breaks and 8 total relics. So that's always good. That was a Redditor. I don't have their name in front of me, but make sure, as we're doing draws of the week, you are sharing your OSB draws with us. Share them at Crystal_Chronicles on Slack so that we have them, or you can tweet us at FFRK Central, hashtag Draw of the Week, so that we can enter you into the great mentioning on the podcast of Draw of the Week. And, of course, we might look back and try to determine what is our Draw of the Year.
All right. Moving on. News from the future, courtesy of our good friend Australian Derek. Obviously, we had a maintenance on Tuesday, but the Japanese version of FFRK had a maintenance on Monday, so they had a whole bunch of new content data mine as well. basically, well, anyway, so let's get right to it. He says, launch of Final Fantasy V event, Explorer of the Deep Sea, introduction of Gogo, that's the Mimic that we talked about last week. He's got Black Magic 5, White Magic 5, and Bard 5-star. There's a new OSB release for Crowd, USB for Lena, and BSB for Gogo, Bard, and Xstat. There's a new Black 5-star magic ability called Chain Waterga released. Obviously, as with any chain whatever thingy, it's 2 single target water damage, magic damage. There was a small balance change. Galof can now equip katanas. They also introduced Legend Materia. Each character can now equip a standard recurrent materia and a set of primary and sub legend materia at the same time. Legend materia unlocked through Record Dive. That's the record spheres for us. With a new tier of 5-star fragments. They are of the same type as the existing 3 and 4-star fragments, not the 5-star job specific fragments. They have some very powerful effects. Yep.
I'm sorry. Let me interrupt you while you're talking about that. First of all, I'm real excited about legendary materia. I think that's really cool. And we'll be excited to talk about that when we get it. The Torment Dungeons are how you get those 5-star job motes. I forgot to mention that.
Oh.
So, yeah, so those 5-star job motes that we got a while back, but we only got a few of them, a few of each. Yeah, the Torment Dungeons, I believe, are how you're going to get more of those 5-star job modes. I believe that's what I have mentioned here, or at least written down as we go. So, no, right. Continue. I just wanted to mention that.
All right. These have some very powerful effects and will allow for some significant character customization. He then gives a link to a Reddit thread. You'll have that link in the post that I'll make with his News from the Future post on FFRKcentral.com tonight or tomorrow morning. Moving on, he says, mechanic buffs introduced. Imperial debuff. These have been buffed in a number of ways. Firstly, there can now be Imperial debuff for different elements active on an enemy at the same time. So an enemy can be like Imperial Water and Thunder, both of them. Secondly, Imperial debuff will now stack to further reduce an enemy's resistance. Initial reporting showed these can be stacked up to 3 times. This is a significant buff for Imperial Soul Breaks. Chain Limit Soul Breaks. These have been let's try this again. These have been retrospectively changed to also include another secondary party buff similar to USB. For example, Warrior of Light, Chain Limit Soul Break now also grant party 2000 stuck HP in addition to its existing function. Stuck HP buffs, these no longer expire after said duration if not consumed. Subsequent casts will now keep the larger value active. A nice change to this mechanic. December celebration content, the following items have been announced or mined. The Orbfest coming December 23rd. Christmas lucky draws and a whole bunch of Japanese style gifts, free materials, and a whole bunch of stuff that we won't get or won't get in the same quantity. So that's pretty much all of it for now. I'll have his entire post on FFRKcentral.com tomorrow or tonight. That's Wednesday night or Thursday morning. But that's about it. And before we call it done, why won't we have the Mobius Minute with Mark? What's going on in Mobius?
Yes, what is going on in Mobius? We have the new Gigantar cactus levels to get lots of skill seeds. And tonight a new region is available, and both of these new regions will allow us to farm things to buff our cards to 5 stars. So that is really what's exciting. The ability to augment our ability cards to 5-star now, making them even more powerful and more exciting. New skills, new abilities, new extras. Woohoo! And that's it.
Yep. So that was the Mobius Minute, right down to a minute.
right down less than a minute. That's how we. So I before we leave, you know, we're it's Christmas this week, and Merry Christmas to all those who are celebrating that holiday, however you do, and to those who don't, hope you have a good week as well. And I was thinking, you know, we're kind of getting we're getting all of this mithril, all of this, you know, orb fests and banners. Like right now, right in this next week, 10 days, you know, kind of, you know, like Santa Claus, right, brings the kids the presents. And so I feel like DNA is giving us the presents, but, you know, the Torment Dungeons are on the horizon. And so I don't know if this is, I don't know enough about French-Canadian culture to know, but I know in French culture, in French history, right, you know, in the United States we have Santa Claus, but there's no evil Santa Claus. Like in Germany you have Krampus, right?
Wait, the Grinch is not a thing?
Yeah. Well, no, we have the Grinch, but he's, you know, his heart got bigger and all the Who's and Whovilles. But as I was growing up in French class, because I took many years of French, like 7. Anyway.
For the record, I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm sharing. But in France, don't they have like an evil Santa Claus? You know, you have Père Noël, right?
Well,
but then you have Père Foutard. Is that how you say it? Are you familiar with this tradition? Is this not a thing in Canada? I don't know.
No, absolutely not. You've got Père Noël, but that's Santa Claus. But other than that, there's no like pear fruitcake or anything. I've never heard that before.
So Father Whipper, is that it? Kind of translates to whipper.
No,
nope, it's F-O-U-E-T-T-A-R-D.
Wait,
F-O-U-E-T-T-A-R-D.
I've never heard that before.
Okay, well, apparently this is from France. Apparently, this is a guy. I mean, this is what I learned in French class, so it might not be true. But this is like a guy who was dressed like a robber with a black stocking cap, and if you were naughty, he would come into your room and whip you. Like literally, like whip, like with a whip.
Yeah, Wikipedia says he is known mainly in the far north and eastern regions of France and in the south of Belgium. So that's why I had never heard of him.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't know how it translated.
This whipping father was said to bring a whip with him to spank all of the naughty kids who misbehaved. Wow, the things you learn.
So I'm just thinking, are we getting our presents just to be kind of we're in this kind of false sense of security with all our mithril and with all our presents, and then all of a sudden we're going to wake up and we're getting whipped by Torment Dungeons. That's my whole point. That's the analogy I'm bringing back to us. What I'm saying, people, is don't fall asleep. He's coming into your room. No, in our tradition, you get coal in your wooden shoes if you're naughty. So, I like the wooden shoe thing. We should do that. That's from Holland, right?
I don't know. We've got like outside. Those. We
have stockings.
Big oversized socks, but
big socks.
That we never know where to hang because we don't have a fireplace. But
yeah, in Sweden we make young girls walk around with a crown of candles on their head. So at Christmas time, so that's terrifying.
That has to be terribly dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, pretty terrifying. So anyway, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Merry Christmas, record keepers. Merry Christmas, DNA. Have a great year. Well, actually, we'll talk before that, but let's just stick to Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy record keeping, and
Happy Kwanzaa.
Yeah, all of that stuff. You going anywhere for Christmas, Mark?
Yeah, we're
more car travel.
We're actually leaving. I tend to work on Christmas and Christmas Eve, So we are leaving from work on Christmas Day to go up to the Wisconsin Dells, which is just north of us a little bit, which is a hub of water parkery and entertainment for the family. And so we are going to, my family, my wife and my kids and my brother and his family and my parents, we are going to be spending Christmas Day evening at an indoor water park. So
that's quite original.
It's different. You know, we decided to do that. You know, all our kids are little. You know, my kids are 6, 4, and 2, and my nephew and niece on that side of the family are 6 and 5 or 7 and 5. So they're all around the same age. So they'll have fun.
I think it's a great idea.
So we decided not to get them, you know, not to exchange presents on that side of the family and just have a nice day. But yeah, we're doing it on Christmas, so that should be interesting.
Definitely.
So look us up if you're at the Grand. No, please don't. Please don't.
Oh, it's that record keeper guy.
I'll be the one. I'll be the one playing Orb Fest while my kids are sliding down. No,
yeah, you're gonna be the one in the slide with the phone in a Ziploc bag just playing.
Yeah, no, I have 3 little kids. I cannot leave them alone at the water park at all. So
probably
I will have to be invested during that time and Orb Fest while they're asleep.
All right. So that's gonna be episode number 44 for the Crystal Chronicles, recorded on December 21st. My name is Pierre. I can be reached on Slack chat. That's ffrkcentral.com/ffrkchat for all of the information. So as I was saying, I can be reached on Slack chat at Pierre. I can be reached on Twitter at ffrkcentral. Please keep on sending me or mentioning me in your tweets of all the hard fights that you beat, all of the relics draw that you do and everything. I try and catch on with and retreat everything as I can. You can reach out to our co-host Ben, who will be back with us next week, at ethinks88 on Twitter. Have I mentioned you can reach out to us by email? No, I haven't. So the email is ffrkcentral@gmail.com. Now I'm not too sure if I said it or not, but anyway, if I did not, I just did. And Mark, how can we reach out to you except going to the water park?
You can come to the Wisconsin Dells. No, you can reach me at Rev Mark Myers on the tweeters and at RevHP on Slack chat. And make sure to go to FFRKcentral.com and check out all that great work Pierre has done. Thank you, Pierre. And make sure to, in this time of holiday cheer, support the Patreon campaign to make FFRK Central even better and more exciting.
Woo. So thank you everyone for being there on Twitch. Thank you everyone listening to us on your mobile device or on YouTube or anything. Please leave us a like or a 5-star review or something. It's always appreciated, and have a good one. We'll see you next Wednesday for more Crystal Chronicle Final Fantasy Record Keeper goodness. Thank you and have a great time.